Cuando estás a mi lado me desespero.
See how that driver in front of me there, he could be over to the far right to make his right turn, but he's blocking the whole lane. See, now that's a bad driver. It's amazing how many people don't really understand how to drive. As we head off on our Tuesday adventure, Trimetland. And I just got done reading a couple of Neil notes. You ever read the Neil notes? He's always so cheery on the Neil notes. He's very cheery, very upbeat kind of thing he's got there. Made a little comment, well, we're in the news again, but we're all doing the same job and we're all working for a great transit agency. Well, maybe we're working for a great transit agency and all that. But there are definitely some problems here, Neil. I know that you might not know it. Either you're not paying attention or you don't care or not really sure what role you have. Your staff is not particularly happy, Neil. I mean, you're talking about your troops, your soldiers. I consider myself one of your soldiers. You know, I'm out on the front line here. Well, things haven't been particularly bad for me, really. I mean, I always feel like I'm under the watchful eye of one of your great TriMet spies that's sent out here to report back on us. Nobody really likes to work under those under those conditions, you know. You know, you get back reports like, you're not calling your stops when I'm actually calling my stops. I mean, you know, how much more disheartening can you get? Did I call them every time? You know, I'm not going to go over this calling stop nonsense. I'd like to see Neil McFarlane come out here, drive an old shitbox bus for a whole shift and call his fucking stops and deal with all the other shit you got to deal with. You couldn't do it for a second, Neil, and we know it. You can play high-priced executive man with all your high-powered contacts and, you know, all your big-ass contracts, huge checks coming in here. You can play that role, but let's put you to real job actually helping people. You wouldn't be able to handle it for a minute. We know it, and you know it too. Regarding the latest news thing, Neil, that was all you guys created it. You created it. That's your own damn fault. If you just be transparent like you've been saying you are. I believe in transparency, says Neil. Oh yeah, sure you do, Neil. Like, you've proven that over and over, haven't you? No. I mean, you know, I'd be lying if I said I didn't like this job, because I do like it. On lots of levels. It's fascinating for me. I'm really into the culture and the personalities. And it's a fascinating experience from my point of view, and it just gets better and better and better. For where I sit, I've become very involved with the politics here, and I enjoy that. That makes me feel like I'm actually having some effect, even if it's none. I feel like there's some voice that I've given myself and some other people who are basically voiceless here, and I think that's a good role. I think it's a good role. I'm happy that I've been able to do that, and I still love, you know, I love driving. I love the people on the bus. I do love my passengers. It really is great for me. I love running into the people. I don't think I'll ever get tired of that. I liked it from the very first day I started at University of Massachusetts. It's all about the people. And when I had my own businesses, I had I had 3 little retail there's another crazy ass one. 3 little retail shops that were owner operated. I had a few employees, of course, but basically meeting the people is what's fascinating, because life is about people. And that's what I really enjoy. And yeah, his first note was keep your chin up. Everything, you know, I don't think anybody is, you know, other than the people that have been screwed, like unjust discipline and hassled over a bunch of shit. I mean, you guys at TriMet have put me through the ringer many, many times, and it's over stuff you don't have any business messing with me. You know, if we're not at work, you don't have any business in my business, as long as it's not some kind of illegal, you know. I mean, you know, you guys don't have any business in my business or any other employee's business off the job. You know, it's really that simple. You don't have any business messing with us. You have all, well, don't talk about TriMet. No, only you should talk about TriMet, right? You, the ministry, what do you mean don't talk about TriMet? Why shouldn't we talk about TriMet? What gives the managers the right to be the only spokespeople for TriMet? You don't have that right. We're people too. We work there. We have a different view about it than you do. We're not sitting in an office. Anyway, he's like, keep your chin up, keep your chin up. And then on his other note, it's something about the Occupy Portland. And thanks for coming through and all of that. Well, people do come through here when they can. I mean, if in all honesty, given the operation runs fairly smoothly, all things considered, they don't have enough buses because they are breaking down so much. And I don't know if they have enough staff. They never seem to have enough staff here. You know, I'm 15 years here almost, so I've got decent runs, but I hear a lot of shitty people with shitty runs and shitty lifestyles, and then you want us to be chin up? We're not going to be chin up. If I was going to do a 4 right now without any brakes, I would probably not be very happy, would I? I'd probably be depressed. Because I've lived through that torture here. So, Neil, you don't have really a right to tell us how to be because you don't understand what we do. You've never been a driver. You've lived in an office for the last 20 years. All you've been doing is building light rail. So what do you know about anything? The fact is you don't. But I know you're like the head propagandist, so you have to say these things. Now, on to other current events. Jeff Ackerson has decided that he will not run for vice president after all. He wants to stay as the executive board member at Merlo. And from my point of view, that's very good news. As an operator, it's selfish to say that, but I would rather have him as the E-board than the vice president, because the E-board person actually has an impact on what we're doing. We need that person here. As a Merlo operator, I can say that we need him here. Vice president, I don't know what Sam and all of them do. It's a different job, though. It's a political versus a hands-on. See, he's actually dealing with operators' problems here directly, and he knows us. You know, we all know each other. I don't think I've had a better rep since I've worked here. He's been the best, basically, because he grasps the issues, high intelligence, and fearless, emotional. He's fearless. I've seen him in these meetings. He is not, you cannot psych out Jeff Ackerson. That's why he'd be good at one of those executive spots too, if he got in there, because if he's dealing with these managers who are experts at trying at head trips, I think Jeff Ackerson is the man they'd have to beat. You know, I think that Jeff Ackerson would bring a whole new personality to this union, and we need a new personality. We can't take any more of John Hunt. John, you just keep grinding us down, man. Now we hear Yvette has stopped payment on a 20. I don't have any details, but I do know there's some hubbub going on about John going off to Romania. They had some kind of deal with a Romanian transit unit, and they were helping support them or something. Well, those days are gone. Have you seen Yvette's financial report lately, John? How many tens of thousands of dollars is it in the negative? Was it 80,000? Oh, I don't think I'm supposed to say that, but sorry. I mean, it's We don't have money for you to go off to Romania or anywhere else. You stay here with the rest of us. Stop wasting money. And while you're at it, what the hell is Ron Heinzman doing? You know, why is he still on the payroll? He's negotiating. See, they never tell you these specifics of anything. They always have these nebulous answers to everything you bring up with them. It's like, oh, he's negotiating. Yeah, negotiating what? There are no negotiations going on. And how long does a negotiation last? All day, every day, 5 days a week? His negotiating starts at 8 in the morning and goes till 4 in the evening. So, hooray to Yvette for finally coming into her own and saying no to John. Good for you. Congratulations. A lot of us have been waiting for you to step up to the plate and get a hold on these finances. And don't be weak. You can be strong. You know, at this last meeting where the vet, she looked to me like there was some confidence there all of a sudden. You know, Yvette's been looking very unsure of herself since she's been in there. But you know, at the last union meeting, she had this air of confidence that I really liked. She seemed very confident in the way she was handling herself and speaking. And now we see today that she's actually said no to John, and that's a huge step to actually say no to him, because you know he'll bowl you over. And I've been around John. This is a hard man to say no to. Okay, you know, certain people have these electric personalities that are very hard to compete with, and he's one of them. That's why he's been able to maintain in this position. He has an electric personality that is, it's hard, you know, it's hard to say no to people like that. They're very good. But it's time that you union officers start taking this by the horn and stop this, okay? This is not John's union. This is our union. You're not a union boss, John. I know you think you are, but it's time for you to realize that this is a union of the people and not of you. You're supposed to be representing us, not yourself. And from where we sit, it sure seems like you've completely gotten into the ego. It's all about John, all about John. You don't like Chris Day, so what do? You tell him that he can't be in the meeting. Well, you don't get that luxury. Look, it's getting foggy out here. Holy shit. You don't get the luxury of deciding what members you like and what members you don't. You need to, well, all he needs to do in this case is apologize to Chris Day for his behavior and tell him you're sorry, you lost it. He'll never do it because he's so arrogant. But what he did was uncalled for. He had no business pulling that shit on Chris Day. I'm shocked that he did it. I'm shocked. Look at it out here. Wow. Now, I really hate driving in fog. Hopefully, oh geez, it's getting thick too. Hopefully this is going to pass when the temperature either goes down or up. Wow. So Jeff is going to not run for VP, and that's good and bad. I mean, it's good for us it's good for me specifically, because I require Jeff Ackerson's services a lot, okay? It's like losing your attorney, really, you know. It's good for me personally. I don't know, I'd probably, you know, if we could get people like John in there, I mean, not John, like Jeff in there to take over the reins. I think that Sam is way too bad. Look at the traffic, man. Jesus. Sam knows all about the contract and stuff, but John's got this iron grip on union affairs, and somehow they got to get him off that grip. You got to get his hand off of that grip. He has got to be taught some kind of lesson here.